Welcome to Repco Muscle Garage. Proudly brought to you by Repco. It starts with the parts. Mount Shop, undercar specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Rizloan, high-performance additives for high-performance vehicles. In this episode, we journey to Tiarahar for its annual cruise in and take a look at Palmerston North-based Graham Espin's Holden HQ ute. But first up, thanks to our mates at Maguire's, we're off to see Matt Jukic and his tough 68 Charger.
It's a 1968 Dodge Charger. I never used to be a Mopar fan. I was into my Chevs and stuff like that, and Mopar was always out of reach for me because everything seemed to cost more with that word Mopar. It was just like the word Harley-Davidson means expensive. The word Mopar meant expensive. So I could never really afford that when I was younger, and I just sort of happened to fall into a Mopar a few years ago. Now I'm hooked on them. That's the way I want to be. I'd spoken to a few friends, and they put me on to a gentleman that was in California that was like a broker, I suppose. He knew how to get hold of all the different cars that I was looking for, and because there was a selection of cars, and that was the best, what I wanted, so I could have a choice. And I could have, in one trip, I could go over there and view 6 or 7 different vehicles, and then I could make my choice. When I spoke to him, he was in California, and he said to me, I know of one of my business partners who's in Chicago area who has like 10 or 15, maybe more. He supplied them for the Dukes of Hazzard movie. All he does is charges. I said, sounds the part. So I hopped on a plane, and we flew up there and went into the yard to look at a black one. When I saw the black one, it was, okay, it was one of those ones that was definitely like photoshopped. It looked a lot better in the pictures than it did actual. And unfortunately for my wallet, parked behind it was another one. And I saw that and I was like, wow, that's a different year, it's different. And, can we talk business? When I first got the car had been partially restored by someone, and they died. They died, so his wife sold it off. And when I got it, it was basically, had been restored, but it's back to standard. And so I knew that it was good metal. That was my biggest thing. I didn't care about much else. It had a good engine, and the metal was good. So I bought it back and stripped it right back anyway, back to bare metal, so I could inspect everything from the scratch. There's a lot of really nice people in the States, like Kiwi companies that are set up over there that will give you all the advice, all the help, and I find it quite effortless, But I would advise anyone, if you're going to buy a car, and if you can spare a little bit extra money, like now with the way things are with COVID, it's not like you've got the option, but it's always best to go over. If you're going to spend some big money, go over. Have a look what you're spending your money on, rather than taking anyone's word on it. But the guys over there, all same thing, very helpful. When it came back, I was a bit daunted with what I'm going to do, and then I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. I knew that it had to be done quickly, and all my friends said they'll give me a hand, they look after me, because I had been through a bit of a bad time with someone had stolen some stuff off my last car and ended up being a write-off, and so I had to start again. And so my friends, they come to the party and help me out. Really good friend Shane, he works in the factory next door, and if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have managed to get it done, but he spent many hours in here helping me strip the thing back to bare metal, putting it up on the hoist, blasting it, taking the suspension off, all the old original suspension, brakes, everything, engine out, everything out, back to bare metal. Every part come off that car and was upgraded to, into the more modern era, I suppose. "95% of the work was done in here, including the paint, everything. The stuff I had to outsource was some of the engineering work, the drop tank for the fuel. That had the guy came here, measured up, went away. Tim from Shaw's Performance, he's really good as well, helped me out. made it on site on his place, and brought it here and fitted it. So that was pretty much, that side of things was the only thing we had to outsource. Everything else, I couldn't afford, really, to be honest. When you buy a moped, you don't have much change left. And just after I bought all the extras that I wanted, suspension, air suspension, the computer air ride, everything just added up. So try to cut costs and get our friends together and do it ourselves. I bought cars before, but I've always sort of stuck to more modern cars, like late model cars and alternative street machines. That's my hobby, doing that. This was my first go at an old school car, and I was lost. Everything was so different. It was just a different style of car. Everything about it, you know, I found like I couldn't get the stuff that I wanted because like it was old. You know, like even like little things like little bits of chrome. They don't make, when they say they make everything these days, some bits of chrome they don't make anymore, no matter how much they say they do. So little things like that was found a lot harder, and the style of car, you don't want to ruin it by building something that's ugly, you know? So I was unsure, so it was a daunting task, and I was a bit lost, to be honest. This is my first old school car, first muscle car, a true muscle car. Like a lot of the modern cars, someone say they're muscle cars, but they're not. They're not muscle cars. And once you've had a true muscle car, you understand what they're talking about. Well, I've got a few plans that I'd like to do to it. I'm keeping them sort of a bit under the belt at the moment. I'll sort of spend the next 12 months sort of just fine-tuning a few things, and then, I think it'll be more like watch this space, see what I do next. Got a few plans.
Now, thanks to Mount Shop, we head to Tiarahar. This usually quiet country town once a year gets swarmed by cars and people for its annual Cruisin' Car Show. This year, the show has seen record numbers, despite the uncertainty with travel restrictions.
This year we've got over 600 vehicles, and it varies. It's been slowly building up over the years. It's been running for about 12 years, and we've just been slowly rolling forward. This year is just a bit of a bonza. We're probably up an extra 100 cars on last year, and I think the COVID things helped a wee bit. People have been home, polishing up their cars, getting everything all ready, and this is the first event that they can actually get out to, and it's a fantastic day. It's in the middle of the Waikato. It's nice and easy, accessible for everybody. It's a great spot for a great event. We call it a classic car show, but we allow classic cars, bikes, caravans. There's all sorts of things here. There's some late model vehicles as well. We've got Mustangs and Shelbys and all sorts of things. That brand new cars to 100-year-old cars. So anything's welcome. It's a great event to come and actually show unique vehicles. So anyone with something a little bit different, they're welcome to bring it on, register, and away they go. We are a non-profit organisation, so everything that we do goes back into the event every year, and it's a real community event. We do employ a coordinator, but that's it. All the rest is run by locals trying to help out and make the event successful. So we've got school groups, we've got retired groups, we've got Lions, we've got all sorts of people coming in and helping with the event, which just adds to the flavour of it. We shut down the street, all the businesses have a boom a day, and people get to see what Tiarahar is about. We're a historic spa town in the middle of the Waikato. Not many people know where we are or what we are, so it's a good opportunity for us to show ourselves as well. So it's a bit of a prize is coming here and actually seeing what we've got available as well. We were seriously looking at having to put the event off because we require a lot of funding through charitable trusts and those sort of things. And because of COVID, they all closed their doors and said, look, we're just not giving any funding at the moment. A couple of months ago, we were like, heck, we're going to have to cancel this because we just don't have the money to fund it. It costs around $40,000 a year to hold the event, and that's utilising all the locals to do most of the work. So we went to the council and said, look, we look like we're going to have to close it this year. And they said, it's too good an event for the whole community, for our district, and we'll bankroll it, essentially, which has been fantastic. COVID didn't kill it, and we came back, and it's bigger and better this year than it's ever been. So I think COVID has actually worked in our favour. It's a bit of Kiwi resilience, and we've managed to box on. We had pre-registrations for this event this year and they just got booked out completely. So we knew it was going to be big. We were just hoping for the good day and we got it. Perfect day. Lots of people around, lots of food, lots of drinks, lots of entertainment for people. It's a fantastic day for the whole town. Everybody gets open on cruising. It's a big day for the town. It's the town's biggest day by far. So everybody opens up. We're a very hospitable community and town, and you come down here and you'll be welcomed like a long-lost visitor.
A familiar face at the show was Matt and his Charger, which was getting a lot of attention.
Every time I come to the show, it seems to be a real cracker. You get in the morning, a bit misty, you're thinking, but wow, sun comes over that hill and it's all on. It's a surprisingly big show for a small town, and it's always a good turnout here. Everyone's so friendly. The organisers are great. Locals are great. Atmosphere is great. What more could you ask for? I'm just scared that we might get locked out of Auckland now, the way things are going. So I just try and get around to as many as I can, just to get out and just catch up with the friends I haven't seen for a while, since last year, I suppose, because all the shows that were supposed to be this year have either moved on or postponed or cancelled, and most of them have been unsure what's going to happen. And that's why I wasn't sure what the weather would be like, but this morning we woke up, it was, wow, this is going to be a nice day. And seen a few familiar faces from different shows, and it's been nice to catch up with them. Everyone's had the same story. They've all been stuck at home, you know, doing home handyman work and mowing the lawn 50 times a week. You know, so yeah, we're all glad to be free. There's a lot of good cars here. So, you know, you always, when you enter a show, you always hope, you know, obviously like anything, you know, you hope that you'll place somewhere, or if you don't, hey, that's the way life goes. You know, onto another show, and you still appreciate your car. You know, you didn't build it to make other people happy with what, you know, you build them to make yourself happy. I'm happy with my car. Makes me happy, so.
Matt ended up taking out the Best in Show award, as well as the Organisers award. Congratulations, Matt. Well deserved. Right, thanks to Risloan, we head to Palmerston North to check out Graham Espiter's Holden HQ ute.
1973 HQ Belmont ute. Bought it in 2012. Living in the outback of Australia, Kalgoorlie. I was on the side of the road for about 3 months. I noticed it. Never moved. Saw the guys out there trying to get it going one day. And got talking to them. Said, do you want to sell it? He goes, well, I'm only taking it back to Adelaide to park in the backyard with the rest. So offered him cash price and got it. Drove it home that afternoon. Started off a bit of an oil leak. So I thought, yeah, we'll do that. Oil leak turned into an engine out turned into a rebuild. Then a wee bit of rust turned into more rust, and two steps forward, four steps backwards. It just went from one extreme to the other. Standard 308 Holden. When I bought it, I was thinking along the lines of the old big block scenario, you know, but at the same time, Holden announced they were going to pull the pin on manufacture. So it was like, no, we're going to keep it Holden. It's running a turbo 400 in behind it. So you just kept it all Holden, got everything, rebuilt the whole motor myself. Obviously machining got done. Got the gearbox rebuilt, got it all set up, running, and yeah, it goes well. Always gremlins in it when you start these things, but yeah. I'm just wrapped the way it's turned out and the recognition I'm getting for it. It's just, yeah, it really makes it worthwhile. Anything that wasn't chromed has been polished. A lot of billet stuff you can get from Billet Industries in Australia. Right down the steering column was made by Billet Works in Perth. I just wanted to be different. You know, I wanted to go the whole way. If I was going down that road, I was going the whole way. You know, so. And at the time, the job I was doing was providing income to do it. So I did it. There's a lot of little stuff the untrained eye won't see, and the trained eye takes a second look to notice it. There are no bumper bolts, everything's shaved, no door handles, tailgates on gas struts, not on wire ropes like the Holden. Chris at Auto Interiors and Bevan, they both got into it, and we made moulded floors. The floor, as you saw, was vinyl, one-piece hood lining, so it hasn't got the old steel hoops like the old Holden style. It's all custom interior. I've always wanted a show car, so it's, do it once, do it right. And so I just, anything I wanted to do, I just decided, no, I'm going to do it, because I only live once. Who knows if we're going to be around next week to enjoy it, So like all the interior, the gauges came out of the States from, can't even remember the brand at the moment, but they were all made for the ute. I chose the font, little skulls on the speedo and the rev counter. They light up green at night. It's just the same with the billet buttons in the middle, they all light up green. The whole theme for the ute's sort of a graveyard theme, because I wanted the number plate possessed, but it was gone. It's always been a headache with something, and anybody that does that sort of build would understand what I'm saying, where I'm coming from. I was looking for a one-tonner, but at the time and where I was living in the outback, there was no one-tonners. They were like hen's teeth to find. And if you found one, probably the Abos got to it before you did. It's quite funny, when I brought that one, it had a dent in the front because the Aborigines in the outback backed into it when it was parked outside a pub for the previous owner. But no, they were very hard to find, a one-tonner, so I literally couldn't find one. And that's what drew my attention to this one. It had been sitting there, and I thought, well, next best thing. So make it work, so I did. A lot of panels replaced, there was a lot of bog in there. The old outback Aussies, didn't really care, just do it. I spent 14 months on a rotisserie to do all the panel work. Got it back looking like a ute again, hired a spray booth, bought some paint, sprayed it, did it all myself. The only thing I haven't done is the airbrushing under the bonnet and in the back, and the upholstery. But I've always been a fanatic on cars. Younger days, I think my first V8 was a Charger, always known by the police, first name basis, for good reasons, not bad reasons. Small local town, originally from Tiarahar, so everybody knew everybody. But this is my biggest build and the most expensive build, but I'm wrapped the way it's come out. Bel Air sitting here, stock original. Bought it off a guy in Minnesota. He had it inherited off his dad from his dad's car collection. So basically, when you look at it, we're only the third owner. It's only done 39,000 miles. Still got the original spare tyre in it. So it's a very tidy car. We were wrapped when it came in. Better than what they said it was. It's only a 6-cylinder, stock original. Turn the key and it goes, no technology to go wrong. My partner's got a little Volkswagen sitting here in the shed as well. Needs not a full rebuild, but it's a bit of a tidy up and everything else. It's her baby. So yeah, we're sort of both into cars, and we've managed to got a nice little collection here now. A lot of awesome people you meet on the way doing it, and I'm guaranteed there's more people out there that we're going to meet and want to know all about it. So.
Thanks to our sponsors, we have this amazing prize pack to give away, including this Repco 27-inch tool chest and trolley, and a complete Maguire's and Rislone car care pack. With a total prize value of over $2,000, there's no excuse not to enter. Just go to themotorhood.com and follow the Repco Muscle Garage link on the homepage. Good luck, everyone. Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Repco. It starts with the parts. Mount Shop, undercar specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Rislone, high performance additives for high performance vehicles.